What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, we got to talk about Tetsuya Nomura and Kingdom Hearts 4. The man finally spoke. It's actually been a little while, and he gave us, I would say, the smallest update humanly possible, but at the same time, maybe one of the most reassuring updates as you can possibly do, okay? This is something that people were praying for. I think people prayed to every god in their handbook, right, to get this announcement, and we have it. So let's look at the quick little Twitter thing. This will only take a second. So Nomura says, Final Fantasy Remake Part 3 and Kingdom Hearts 4 are progressing well and according to schedule. In regards to Part 3, it's going very smoothly. The announcement timing has been decided, and we will stick to that schedule, so please rest assured and wait. Kingdom Hearts 4 is also progressing well and according to schedule. I almost feel like the guy deserves some sort of medal for even saying it. Look, I'm being genuinely honest. Like, I'm not here to clickbait. I'm sure maybe some people have, maybe some people haven't. It is something that is so tiny, but also so meaningful, I think, to so many of us. I also think, by the way, that is what being a part of the Kingdom Hearts fandom is all about. You know, I feel like only people like us really can value like a statement by him like that, whereas most people, you see a statement like that and you forget about it 10 seconds later, right? You could have a new game announcement. You could have a game that's coming out, and they say something like this. It'll be in 1 year, out the next, and you won't even think about it tomorrow. But I think for Kingdom Hearts, look, it is something, right? It is. I mean, do I expect him to come out and say that it's not going well? You know, you could argue, like, would he lie? And I mean, that is something that if you want to nitpick, I'm sure we could get into. In my opinion, they don't really seem like, in the position to lie. And it's like, I feel like you probably could be honest as well. Developers, yeah, they do lie actually kind of all the time, and they exaggerate. But I mean, like, look, when a game is not going well, we have had games that have come out to say, hey, like, there was a troubled period, but now we're back on track. You know, you always kind of have to end with good news. You can't end with bad news, right? When you're telling that kind of story as a game developer. But I don't know. I'm not trying to make it into something that it's not. If he says it, I want to believe him. And look, I mean, he said literally less words about Kingdom Hearts 4 than he did Final Fantasy 7. It's interesting for 7, he talks about, like, okay, we have a time period. Like, we literally know the schedule, seemingly, of, like, announcement on. And Kingdom Hearts 4, he kind of just says, yep, like, it's going well, and it's also according to schedule. Again, I mean, the only thing I think you could really read into that is, like, hopefully nothing bad has happened behind the scenes. And to be fair, there's never really been any reporting that something was wrong behind the scenes. You know, I think people like us have just always speculated, like, have they put a priority on Final Fantasy over Kingdom Hearts, like, internally with these studios? And probably, like, to be honest, but that doesn't necessarily, like, even though we talk about it, and I think it is something you can legitimately talk about, I don't think it's, like, evil or malicious. And I also, from us, and I also think from them, it's probably not that either, right? Where it's like, I don't know if, just because that could be true doesn't mean that actually is a huge negative. It's one of those, like, it is the way that it is, and we might not like it, but it's just that way. And it's like, yeah, they might have just decided, hey, we can't be doing Final Fantasy VII Remake for 15 years. Like, we gotta figure, which, I mean, honestly, from its inception to now, it's been an okay amount of time. They're probably done. They probably really want to be done. In fact, I mean, all the interviews that came out when Rebirth came out, I watched as many as humanly possible. There seems like they have fun. They really want to tell this story, but they're done. They are so freaking done with this, and they just want it to be over. Some of them, not all of them, and just maybe some interviews, maybe not all the interviews. But that's the kind of vibe I get, where it's like, I think they just want to really focus and can say, okay, this is the definitive version of Final Fantasy. We're done. See ya. We might retire now. You know, and I think they put that priority-wise over Kingdom Hearts. But again, that doesn't mean Kingdom Hearts 4 is in trouble. It just means, like, maybe that was just a discussion that the executives had at some point. So good to hear, I suppose. And going on, like, according to schedule, all right, so if it was planned for 2027, it's still 2027. If it was planned for 2028, it's still 2020. The issue is you don't really know what the end of that plan was, right? So we're really back to square one, with a lot of those predictions. But no, it is good to hear about it because the guy hasn't said anything. I don't even think he really publicly commented on Missing Link being canceled. I think that's one thing people have kind of called him out on is, can you talk about, like, even though it's not happening, can you tell us anything about it, or can you, like, just comment on it? He really didn't. And by the way, he talks and people do ask him things. I'm sure somebody will get something out of him on Missing Link at some point in the next like 3 to 5 years. I'm pretty confident on that. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.